Hello, everyone, and happy Friday to you. This is Melissa Brown, your soul love coach, and we are meeting earlier in our day for your days of emotional elevation. And guess what? Today is day 5. We are on day 5 of your emotional elevation, and so I hope that you have been tuned in and plugged in all week long. It has just been my joy to have all of you guys here. So I'm hoping that I will get to see most of my nighttime folks in the daytime. I know a lot of people are working from home. So I'm hoping that either you are on your lunch break, or even if you are having to watch this on replay, just, give me some hearts in the chat and let me know that you are watching it on replay. And you're going to have the weekend to catch up or maybe listen again if you missed a day. But I truly, truly hope that you feel more emotionally grounded. That was my promise to you, that on Monday I said by the end of the week, by Friday, that you would feel more in charge of your emotions instead of your emotions being in charge of you. And so I hope I kept my promise. I hope that your mind is more together and more in order. And so today it's going to be all about the secrets to your emotional mastery on a daily basis, because I don't want this to be just a one-time experience for you. I know many of you have had, your emotional challenges for years. And as I said earlier in the week, we don't expect to just heal everything, fix everything in 30 minutes. That's just not how life works. And so I really hope that you are giving yourself grace this week, that you are not putting the bar so high on yourself, which I know all of you have a tendency to do, that you have grace for everybody else, but you have no grace for yourself. And so I hope that you would be more loving, more kind, more patient with you as you begin to just pick up some new skills that will really help you to stay grounded in who you are. Not who you think you are, but who you really are. More than anything this week, I hope that you have heard the Spirit of God speaking to you at a higher level, reminding you that you are not your circumstance, you are not your situation, but God had a plan for you, and that plan is still in motion in spite of everything that may be going on. The plan for you is still in motion in 2020. And so it's up to us to be in alignment with what God has in mind. It's up to us to have our yes ready, to be in a posture of yes, as opposed to somewhere off in left field, waiting and hoping, fingers crossed, waiting for other people and other things to change when you are the change. You've been the change all along. So with that, and I see a few of you guys are joining. Hey, Tasha, good to have you. Hey, Miss Aura. Hi, Naya. And no, I have not sent out your life work yet because we are early in the day. But what I plan to do is I'm going to do my editing on this video. When we're done, I will send it out as a replay as well as the life work that I want you to be working on. But for now, I want you to just be present. I want you to just be present. I want you to be able to take it in. And then this weekend, you're going to create an elevated experience for yourself. Are you ready to create some elevated experiences for yourself? Are you tired of having the same old experiences where you feel disappointed, where you feel all this anticipation only to be let down? I'm going to tell you why. So today is the day that you kind of stop giving your happiness, your power away to somebody else and expecting them to be what you could be for you at all times. And so with that, we're going to go to God in prayer. We're going to just sanctify our space. And so wherever you are, I pray that you would just get centered. Hey, Kathy. Hey, let me see. I'm like, y'all, I'm so blind. Hi, Mr. Jordan. Good to have you here. I want you to be creating an elevated experience. An elevated experience, you all. What do I mean by that? Especially since I got some husbands on here. That means you plan a date night that is at an elevated level. This weekend is my husband's 50th birthday. You're going to see as we go through the points, I have decided what kind of weekend this is going to be. Old me would be sitting up saying, oh gosh, I wonder, is it going to be good enough? I wonder, is he going to complain? I wonder, and that kind of energy, bringing that too, even though you're bringing a gift, if your anticipation is, I'm going to be let down, there's going to be some kind of disappointment, he's not going to be all that happy, I'm going to be happy, and he's going to be like, oh, this all right. And I'm going to be this. If I'm already there in my mind, you can imagine what the result is going to be. So today I'm going to show you how to create an elevated experience that is independent of other people's responses. I want to high five myself. Can I get an amen? Elevated experience that is independent of other people's opinion of you, other people's response to you. Elevated. So let's get ready. Let's get ready to go to God in prayer. Father, we thank you. We thank you for this fabulous Friday. God, we thank you for everything that we have experienced all week long. God, we thank you that you have met us, you have taught us, you have revealed yourself to us. God, you have elevated us. And for that, we are grateful. We say thank you. And God, we know that the best is still yet to come. And so we pray that today you would begin to give us the tools to create elevated experience, which makes for us an elevated life, that every area of our lives that used to be disrupted now comes in divine order. Now we experience joy. God, I thank you that you are giving us beauty for ashes, for those areas, God, that have been painful. God, you're giving us greater purpose. You're giving us greater meaning, God, and we will experience your presence like never before. And so for that, God, we say thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. So again, it is so good to have you guys here. Feel free to share, even though people may not have been on all week, they're going to still be able to catch it. If anything, I hope it creates enough curiosity to say, let me go back to day one. Where did we start if this is where we're ending? And so, like I said, what we're going to be talking about today is how to create that emotional mastery. That emotional mastery, not perfection, that emotional mastery that will guide you through your life on a daily basis. Because this is the thing, y'all. A lot of times we are waiting, you really are waiting, as proactive as you are with everything else in your life. On an emotional level, you are waiting to see what other people are going to do, and that determines how you're going to feel. And can I just tell you that that is a setup for disappointment? It is a setup for disappointment. Particularly for those of you who are in committed covenant relationship, any married folks in here, who, again, if you are kind of sitting back, and we have a tendency to do this, I call it sometimes, and we do this too, even for single people who do dating. There's this term called scorecarding, where literally you just sitting back with your notebook, your invisible notebook, and you kind of like, did they do this? Did they do that? They didn't do that. You're scorecarding. So you're approaching the experience with such a level of hesitation, with such ambivalence, and already anticipating, this is not going to be everything. You're already kind of in the back of your mind. This requires emotional honesty, because I know some of y'all like, no, I'm not. I was open. No, you weren't. You were not open. In the back of your mind, you were just waiting for the other shoe to drop. In the back of your mind, you were waiting for the last conversation to come up again. Oh, I knew we was going to go there, because that's why you said it. You knew it. You knew it. You were waiting for it. And so if you are approaching your experiences with that as your backdrop and the past as your baggage, and that's the backdrop of the new experience, guess what you're going to get? And I already told y'all this earlier in the week. You are either creating a powerful future, or you are rehearsing and replaying the past. And when you are rehearsing and replaying the past will get repeated. Guaranteed. There is no way that you can be in your mind thinking about yesterday and not bring it forward into today. That's how powerful you are, that you can think about 2 years ago and you can think about it on such a level that boom, yesterday shows up in your present. And so again, I've already told you that you're going to have whatever you say. And so if you are secretly saying, not verbally, but if you are secretly saying, oh, I know how this going to turn out because I know how the last vacation was. I know how the last time we went on a date was. I know how the last time we had a conversation went. There is no room for a new experience because you're waiting for the old one. And you're going to have exactly what you said. So I'm talking about relationships, but I could apply this to jobs. If you approach your new job with the mindset of your old job, if you approach your new coworkers thinking about your old coworkers, yeah, I know they was nice in the beginning, but you know how people are. Guess what you're going to get? The same experience, cut and paste in the new experience. And so if you have been a person who finds that you are constantly needing to move, like, oh, this needs to be changed. Oh, this needs to be changed. Let me bring you back to the point of power. The point of power is always you. Because everywhere you go, there you are. So the issue is not men. The issue is not women. The issue is not, you know how they are. The issue is your mind and the way you enter in. So one of the keys to your emotional mastery is you are going to have to decide beforehand how you want to feel. Decide beforehand how you want to feel. I know it sounds simple, but how many of you decide before an experience how you want to feel? Or are you on default sitting back with your scorecard deciding, let's see how he come home tonight and then I'll decide how I want to feel? Honey, you are giving way too much power away. If that's what you're going to do, if you're going to wait to see what somebody else's attitude is before you decide how you're going to feel, you're going to be miserable every day. Every day. So you get in the driver's seat of your emotions and you begin to say, this is what I want to experience this weekend. That's what I want. So even now in the chat, I told you this is a week of transformation. What do you want to experience this weekend? What is the word? Because I don't want you all on here to say, yeah, Melissa, that's good. That's a good point. But you still ain't identified what you want to feel. Remember, that was back on day one. You don't even know what you want to feel. You just know, I want to feel better. Not the answer. Not the answer. That is focused on what you don't want. I know I don't want to argue. That is not the answer. That's focused on what you don't want. And if you focus on what you don't want, you're going to get more of what you don't want. You better have something. Just like when you get in your car, if you have a navigation system, you have to program the car to say, this is where I want to go. This is where I want to go. So where you want to go this weekend? Emotionally. Regina wants to rest. I want to feel, and it's really important, Regina, I love this. It's really important that it's not an activity. Now, there are activities that you will have to do, But most of us do activity that is disconnected from the feeling we want to feel. Okay? So you have to decide what makes you feel rested. Rested is the feeling. Keisha says loved is the feeling. Harold says reconnection is the feeling. I want to feel reconnected. So be clear on the feeling before you go into the action. If you're not clear on what you want to feel, then don't just start doing a bunch of random acts, because all that's going to happen is you'll be tired. You'll be more tired. So Regina has to be so in tune with herself that she knows what rested feels like. This is the layer that sometimes makes it hard. That's why I say we can be disconnected. You can be disconnected because you don't know what hopeful feels like. You don't know what peaceful and positive, and Yvonne says not negative and overwhelmed. I want you to take negative and overwhelmed out, because if you start focusing on, I don't want to feel negative and overwhelmed, you're going to be negative and overwhelmed. Focus on peaceful, positive. What creates peaceful and positive for you? What does it even feel like? So again, remember I told you the formula is not the doing or the seeing and then I feel. Last night I told you that you got to feel it first. You got to feel it first. So if I say, I want tonight to be intimate, because it's my husband's birthday weekend. Now, he may have his own feelings. He does. It's his birthday, not mine. But if I want to create an experience for somebody, I know I want to feel the intimacy, the connection. I think somebody else said connection. I want to feel that. You have to, before you go and start doing activities, you need to be able to bring that feeling up on the inside of you. Okay? Are you able to do that? Which means you got to get quiet. You got to get still. You got to get connected with you. And for those of you who have been so disconnected, and I get it, it's still a lot of us. That's why I do coaching programs, so you can get reconnected with yourself for months, because it takes time to know you. This is where you can go to God and say, God, what does the peace of God feel like? Because that's what I want to experience. What does positivity feel like? And then you allow, when you sit in that, God, the reason why sometimes we don't know is because we don't ask. You just doing stuff. Ask God. It says those that need wisdom, ask. Ask God. And so then go to God and say, God, it's been so long since I've been at peace. It's been so long since I've been at peace. And then the other part, which those that went through the surrender understand this, you got to be willing to say, God, I give over my overwhelm. I give over my frustration, because you can't receive one thing while you're holding on to another thing. And some of us have been so stuck in the negative thing, in whatever the other thing is, that it's like, well, I'm holding on to this because that's all I know. It's my familiar. I'm so used to it. I approach everything with that as my backdrop. And so you got to spiritually be able to say, God, I give it over. I don't want to carry that. Not this weekend. God, I don't want that this weekend. So God, I give that over to you. And God, I am asking that you show me what peace feels like, what it looks like. And I guarantee you that you will begin to feel the inclination. This is where your intuition comes in. Last weekend, what did I want to feel? I wanted to feel peace. And I know enough about me that peace for me feels like nature. We're in this kind of quarantine, semi-quarantine state. I love my house. We're, in a new place. I love getting it together. We still got boxes in certain places. Even still, I got to get outside. Because for me, if I can hear the trees rustling, if I could hear the water of the stream, if I could see water somewhere, immediately my spirit goes to a peace of calm. I know that about me. I've been with me. I've dated me. I know what I need. Do you know what you need? So you identify what you want to feel before you do activities, and making sure that the activity is connected to the way you want to feel. Y'all got that? Now, for those that are in relationship, I would say this. Before I go and I say, like I said, I want to feel connection. I want to feel intimacy. So if I'm taking my husband to dinner tonight, this is the setup for disappointment. If I just dress myself up and I expect him to act a certain way, because we create all these scenarios in our head before they ever happen. And then we're disappointed when it doesn't play out like the movie we created. But you're the only actor. Everybody else is an extra. They don't know their part. And they don't know that they don't know their part. And then next thing you know, you got feelings, negative feelings. So before I go and try to create intimacy and connection, come on, Mr. Harold, with my spouse, I have to create intimacy and connection with me. I cannot give what I don't have and then expect somebody else to give it to me. That is your setup for disappointment. But that is what 99% of people in relationship do. That's what we do. We have an emptiness, we have a need, and then we go plant ourselves in front of somebody else and say, I hope you give it to me. Except for we don't even say it. We don't even say it. We just have this invisible expectation, and we're sitting back and we're waiting for them to be something that they don't even know they're supposed to be. And then we go back more empty than where we started. So what am I going to do? Number one, I know what creates intimacy. Doing what I love. Y'all are what I love. So I already said, hon, I got to be online early. Because this is the thing for me that I love. I'm engaged in what I love. I got myself dressed up. Sometimes I just have on my Zoom shirt where you just dressed up from the top up and the rest is like pajamas. Nope, this time I got all the way dressed. And he always says, why do you have perfume on? You're on Zoom. I like the way the perfume makes me feel. Y'all can't smell it, but I can. So what creates intimacy and connection with me before I go and try to create it with somebody else? You must be, remember what I said last night, the only thing missing is what you fail to bring. So what you bringing? What you bringing to the table? Or are you just coming empty and saying, here, create intimacy, create love, create peace? You got to commune with you. You got to know how you want to feel. You got to date you enough to know what makes that for you. Because I just told you what creates that for me. What creates that for me? I'm going to do some things with my baby, my 6-year-old, who's my little sunshine. I feel connected when I'm with her. Even though she's like, oh, why you got to go out? Don't leave me with the big sister. But I'm going to do some stuff that makes me smile. So that by the time 5 or 6 o'clock comes, I'm in such a high energy mode because I have taken care of me all day. How are you taking care of you? Or are you just sitting back and waiting? This is the thing. So let me give you the steps again. Decide how you want to feel. What do I have to think to feel it? You got to feel it first before you just start doing activities. And then you give what you are wanting. If it's connected to other people, give it to you first before you try to go and create it with someone else. And when you come to the table, bring something. Bring love. Bring peace. because people are also feeding off of your energy. This is not just in romantic relationship, it's in all relationship. So if you come in and you feel frustrated, you feel tight, you're on edge, you're looking like, well, I don't know how this is going to go. They're going to be like, what's wrong with her? What's going on? Why does this feel funky? And they're going to respond to you with your funky energy. And you're going to sit back. This is the vicious cycle where we sit back and say, see, I knew it. I knew not to expect nothing. And then we tell this lie. Well, they're just incapable. I'm telling you what I know because I've done it. They're just incapable. They just don't know how. They just, we turn into psychotherapists and you start analyzing. And really what has happened is no one knew your script. Nobody knew your movie. You're the only one who knows the script for the movie. And people are, they don't even know that they're the villain in the movie, that they have disappointed you so badly. So here's the thing. There are times that people may not respond to you the way, even though you're doing everything that I just said. You've spent time with you. You feel good about you. You brought something to the table. You're creating an atmosphere. Can I remind you that other people's behavior or response to you has nothing to do with you? So one of the things, if you are going to stay at a place of emotional elevation, you got to stop personalizing everything. Because if I do all of what I'm talking about and tonight my husband decides that he's going to have a horrible dinner, I have to stay at an emotional place where I don't make that about me. And this is why we have to be healed. This is why we have to be healed from our hurts. Because again, old Melissa, who has lived her life trying to people please, would automatically, when people are unhappy, I make myself wrong. That's called codependency. But that's old Melissa. New Melissa, elevated Melissa, knows that your behavior has nothing to do with me and everything to do with you and where you are and what's in your head and what you're responding to and the way you think and your glasses, your lens, your movie has nothing to do with me. And so I'm not going to say you won't feel disappointed, but what I'm not going to do is make it all about me. Okay? There's a difference. There's a different kind of energy when you make yourself wrong for other people's thoughts about you. You will be jumping through hoops indefinitely. And at the end of the day, they still won't be happy because happiness is an inside job. It has nothing to do with you and everything to do with their choices. Okay? So I'm just giving you the other side. Yes, Naya, y'all, you know I'm fair. I'm going to give you the other side. But I do want to make sure, number one, you have communicated, that you have spent time with you, that you're not showing up with an empty cup, expecting people to be for you something you have to be for yourself. But after I have done all of that, after I have done my work, it is up to the other person to do theirs. And so you also have to respond to negative behavior at an elevated level. And it is okay for you to excuse yourself, because some of us, depending on situations, we stay too long in atmospheres that don't support the woman you say you want to be. So why in the world are you going to allow yourself to sit in a place, whether it's a family function, whether it's a conversation that is going far left and there is no bringing it back to center, that it is okay for you to say, this conversation is not working for me. I'm going to excuse myself. So that you can stay at an elevated level. We got to stop using the excuse. And I'm only telling you what I know. Yes, I have degrees, but I also have experience. And I have said on many occasions, and I am not proud of it, but many occasions, oh, you took me there. I know I'm not by myself. That you took me there, so therefore I didn't cuss you out, I didn't acted a fool, because you took me there. When the reality is I stayed too long at a place I should have been got up and left. Conversation, I should have left 15 minutes ago. But I stayed, and then, on a serious of emotional honesty, sometimes, especially if you're the good girl, if you have the, whatever that is, kind of mentality, which, if y'all know my husband, he's 6'8", he's military, once a Marine, always a Marine, alpha personality. And so sometimes it feels good to act the way he acts. Like, let me act a fool. Not that he acts a fool. Old us. But sometimes it feels good to say, you know what? This is what I'm about to do. You want to act like that? I'm going to act like that. But this is the thing. You have to feel good about you. And every time I have allowed myself to go there and act in ways that are out of alignment with the woman I say I want to be, I don't like me. I don't like me. So again, it becomes a temporary fix for something that I'm going to pay for much longer. And so you got to decide at an elevated level, and you might have to hear, oh, you think you're this, you think you're that. Oh, you too good. Oh, you mature now. It is not, I definitely, for those that have done my group, some of y'all have to hear, oh, you in Melissa's group now. It has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them and where they're thinking, where their lens is, what their own hurt is, what their pain is. And as I said earlier in the week, it doesn't make it all right. But you don't have to sit there on the front row seat of it and listen at it. You can say, this doesn't really work. This is no longer productive. Okay? The other part of this equation for emotional mastery is, let's just say you have a negative experience. I'm praying everybody has elevated experiences this weekend. But let's just say you do have a negative experience. You got to identify the feeling. Too often, and I know the ladies in this group, and especially if you have had a pattern of experiencing hurt or disappointment and negativity, what we tend to do is just say, it is what it is, and then we just start doing stuff. I always know that I am ignoring the feeling when I start cleaning my house from top to bottom. And not just because it's dirty, but I'm just trying to work out the energy, the upset, the anger that I feel, that I am not expressing, that I am not naming, but instead I am moving furniture around. I am creating projects. I am cooking up a storm. I am doing whatever. And what that is called is distracting myself from my pain. That is what that is called. So you got to be clear on, what do I feel when I have been hurt? And am I going to deal with it, or am I going to be distracted? Because distracted pain doesn't disappear. It just comes back for you at a more inappropriate, inconvenient time. It may be 3 o'clock in the morning, but that pain is coming for you. And if you would allow yourself to just feel it so it can leave you. And some of us think we're going to break and we're going to crack. If we actually feel the feelings, you will not break and you will not crack. And the reality is you have to feel the feelings anyway. You're just misdirecting them. You're just avoiding them. Or you can just say, you know what? I'm hurt. I'm hurt. I don't feel loved. I feel ignored. Name the feeling. This is for if you do have a negative experience. Still talking about emotional mastery, because the reality is you ain't going to be happy every day. You're not. That is a myth. Emotional mastery, and we are such a microwave society that we have forgotten that we are humans, that somehow in our minds we think that because I'm a Christian and because I'm a good person, I'm going to be on cloud 10 every day. That is a lie from the pit of hell. That is not a human experience. You are going to have highs. You are going to have lows. You are going to be hurt. You are going to be happy. You're going to be wounded, and you're going to be well. All of it. Welcome to life. That's what life looks like. And so part of it is understanding that this is how life flows. So name it. Understand why I feel this way, especially if it's connected to another person. Why do I feel this way? And is this a reasonable feeling? Is it reasonable? That goes back to, what am I making this mean? Let me, again, all transparency, transparency. I have been, in the past, if my husband came in and did not greet me, within an hour, my whole mood has totally shifted, because he just came from the front door and he went straight into the bedroom and he's back there on his phone, and all he said was, "Hey, what's up?" He didn't get close to me, no proximity to me. And my love language is quality time. And so you've been gone all day, and now you in the back, you on the phone, you talking to other people, you doing whatever it is you're doing. What am I making that mean? Old Melissa would, number one, say, okay, the feeling is I feel unloved, and I'm making the fact that he skipped coming to me to kiss me on the cheek and say, "Hey, how was your day?" The fact that he skipped that, now I have made it mean that he don't really love me, he don't really care about me, and if I'm not careful, again, I'm just telling you, 15 years of marriage, he don't care nothing about me, he's so selfish, all he thinks about is himself. You see how the narrative goes? So no wonder I'm pissed an hour later when it comes time to serve dinner, and you like, "Here's your dinner." And he's like, "Everything okay?" "Yep, everything's fine. It's fine." While I'm cleaning. All because I got a movie going on in my mind that nobody knows nothing about. All because I have rules. So again, I'm asking again, is what I am feeling, number one, you got to decide to not allow the train to be a runaway train. Yes, you name the feeling, but you get to decide what it means. You can't see how much power I lost in those years that I would do that. How much power, because that would throw off my whole night. My whole night is ruined. The whole weekend is jacked because of that. And then what begins to happen is I begin to look for evidence of what I have made it mean. Let's see other ways that he don't love me. And again, here you go. Now I'm sitting back again with my scorecard. Like, yep, let's see. Yep, he did that. Yep, he did that. Yep, I see how he treats that person. He don't treat me like that. Yep, I know he don't really love me. And again, and this is why, again, I do groups. The soul wound of neglect, which is Melissa's soul wound, and we all have them, my need to be loved. Because my basic needs are met, but do you really love me? Do you really want to be with me? Connected to my daddy stuff. Connected to my dad who was too busy running women, drinking wine, whatever he was busy doing, he was too busy for me. That gets transferred into the present. Remember what I said? We're either rehearsing, cutting and pasting. So here I am 30, 40 years later, looking for evidence of what was going on in my life at 10. waiting for people not to show up because they always say they're going to show up, and then always something else is more important than me. Waiting for him to say, my husband to say, yeah, I got to work. When was you going to tell me? My response, way out of proportion. Because it's not about where I'm at right now. It's connected to everything that was back there. So it's up to us to clean this up. Yes, other people have responsibility. Yes, you cannot take everything personal. Yes, other people got their own trash and their own baggage that they need to take out. But we also have to be aware of how our emotions get in the driver's seat, pump the gas, and go 100 miles an hour off the cliff. And it wasn't even that deep. But we made it that deep because it's about so many other things. So name the feeling. Ask yourself, is this reasonable? Is this reasonable? Ask yourself, have I made a request? Have I even made my need known? Or was I expecting people to mind read? Again, all relationships. Did I make a request known, or am I just sitting back mad because nobody read the script that I didn't even pass out? That's right, Keisha. We are 100% responsible for us and the way we choose to feel. Nobody makes you feel anything. I am responsible for me. And I get to decide how I want to feel, what I want to experience, how I want to live. And I have decided that Melissa wants to be free. Do you want to be free? Or you want to be mad? And there is such a thing as justifiable anger. Your choice to choose freedom doesn't mean that you don't have a right to be mad. It's just, I want freedom more than I want to be mad. And some of us feel like if we let go of the anger, that we have let people off the hook. That if we allow ourselves to be happy, that somehow we are, invalidating our pain, when that is the craziest thing ever. Because as long as you hang on to pain, you stay in prison. While anybody who's offended you is free. They ain't thinking about you. They are not thinking about you. But you sitting up still thinking about it. And so it's not that your issue is invalid. It's not that you don't have a point. It's just, I have chosen freedom. I have chosen peace. And I've decided where I want to put my focus and where I want to put my energy and my attention. It's always your choice. It's always your choice. Nobody has you on lock emotionally but you. You got the key. You got the key to unlock this thing and say, you know what? I see what's going on. I see these issues. I'm not going to make this about me. I'm going to remove myself from certain situations that are toxic so that I'm not sitting there setting myself up for failure because I'm sitting there having to listen to a barrage of negativity that I am a human being and I cannot handle over time. I'm going to remove myself and I'm going to make a different choice for me. For me. Even though I have a right to be mad. Even though I have a right to be angry or sad or whatever it is you feel. I have a right to it, but I'm going to choose this. So you want to be right or you want to be happy? It's up to you. Sometimes you get both. But most of the time, particularly in your relationships, you're going to have to choose. You want to be that right? You really need to be that right? Yes. So next week, y'all, and like I said, for those that are joining late, I'm going to be sending out the life work so that you can create your elevated experience for the weekend. So that you can decide ahead of time, not sitting up waiting to see what other people's attitude is before you decide how you're going to feel. You're going to get in the driver's seat and you're going to decide. how you want to feel. And then you're going to be in tune with you enough to know what that looks like, how to create it independent of other people. Can you do that this weekend? So I'm going to give you the guidelines. I'm going to give you the structure for how to set that up. I'm going to give you the keys for how to manage negative experiences that you will have, because this is life. But just so you don't get sucked in and feel like I just can't breathe. Nope, we're going to put some boundaries around that so that you can stay at an elevated level. And if you fall, which we all fall, even me, if I can cut somebody out, then I know you can too. So if you fall, you dust yourself off, you get back up, you start again. Because that's the vision of the new you, the woman you say you want to be. That's what she would do. And you're going to have to learn how to have conversation with yourself about yourself on this journey. Stop talking to yourself about other people. Stop talking to yourself about what used to be and what happened and why it happened, and rehearsing negative memories that you can't do nothing about now. But you're going to have to talk to yourself. You're going to have to command your soul that you are going to a higher level. And when the past wants to come and visit you and it starts to knock on the door, all you got to say is, thanks for stopping by, but I'm not taking any visitors. And keep it moving. Stop allowing every thought, every feeling to come and sit and take residence in the living room of your mind and stay all day, unless you want it there. You are the gatekeeper of your mind, and you get to decide what you want to entertain and what you will no longer entertain. That's right. Nikki said, we're not taking visitors. I'm not taking visitors that's going to remind me of who I used to be and all the ways I messed up. Thanks for stopping by, but I'm not taking visitors today. I'm only bringing in the new circle, my elevated friends, my elevated thoughts. That's who I'm entertaining today. So for those of you who have been waiting while I was moving from Korea back to the States, and if like, Melissa, when you're going to have another group, I am rolling it out on Monday. If you are interested, because like I said, I want to have conversations with people who are really interested, because I don't want this to be just, another group. And during COVID, right now, I can't even plan my retreats that I love, but a retreat is coming. Retreat is coming. And part of the way you get to go on retreat is you get to do your work. That I am clear about. That the retreats are for the ladies who have really dug deep. And they've said, you know what? I'm worthy of this. I done paid for other people to have their experience. I'm about to invest in me so I can have mine. And so if you know that you are ready for a new experience, an elevated experience, not just for a weekend, but for the rest of your life, then you can say, I am ready in the chat. You can just put that there, and I will definitely make sure that when I get everything all lined out this weekend, like I said, you will be the first person who gets an opportunity to say yes. That's right, Tasha. I'm worthy. I'm worth it. When you think about all the people that you have helped to reach their dreams while you sat back on the sidelines and watched, come on now. And then when it's time for you to do something for you, ain't nobody around. Like I said, it doesn't work that way. What you do for others, you must first do for you. I hear you, Ella. I see you. Ready. Like we're not going to keep doing this. I don't know about you, but I don't need a repeat of 2020, of 2020. I don't need this to get repeated. And so whatever lessons I need to learn, whatever emotions I need to move through, I'm ready. Because as I have been saying all week, there is more. There is more for you to do. It is time for you to start writing in your journal about what you hope and wish to happen. And it's time for you to step into the driver's seat and say, let me program this GPS for where we're going. Instead of sitting back waiting, hoping magically somehow you just get there. God says you got to work out your soul salvation. You got to work this out. It ain't going to just happen. You got to work it out. So it is time. It is so time. And so again, y'all watch the videos this weekend. Pay attention to your email. It should be the life work, your experience guideline will be in your inbox this weekend within the hour. So if you do not get it, check your junk mail. And if you still don't get it, then message me and I will make sure that you get it. But I love you guys. Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much. You guys are my heart. Like I said, you are a part of my experience. You are a part of my experience. And I want to help you to have your own. The joy that I feel when I'm doing this, that 10 years ago, you couldn't have told me because I only had my little structure of, well, this is the only way I can do it. When God said, no, I had expansion. I came kicking and screaming online. Now look at 2020. Everybody needs to be online. Everybody. So God has a plan. Stop resisting. Stop resisting. Your biggest blessing is behind your resistance. So I'm going to leave you all with that. Share your pictures. Share your experience for this weekend. All of y'all who said you wanted peace, you wanted love, all that you wanted, create it. Let's get to creation, because that's what you are, especially if you're a woman. You're here to create. So much love to you guys. I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon.